Today, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty hot right now. We're going to be diving into the world of MLOps.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
specifically,
a good one.
we're going to be looking at professional certifications
Yeah.
in this field.
Nice.
Yeah.
MLOps is,
If you're out there and you're thinking about maybe getting a certification in this space,
yeah.
this is the episode for you because we're going to be talking all about what it could mean for your career.
Okay, so Linux command, okay, use shell scripting. This topic I'll cover next session. Okay, today I'm going to mm, start the Docker session. Okay, so Docker is very important in MLOps. So we are going to start with Docker. So are you able to see my screen, all of you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the very first question is, what is Docker? Okay, what is Docker? So when you look at the Docker, we have it's a container management tool. Now, when we say Docker is a container management tool, that means tool means what? Using that you can save time, save cost, right? And improve the quality of work, quality. So this is something three advantage we use for tool. Now the question is how the Docker can save cost. So I'll give you in a very simple way. Earlier we were running one applications in the physical server, correct? Now we migrated to now same physical server we are using to run, let's say, two applications, but in a VMs, correct? We migrated from the physical servers to VM. Now probably I'm just for visualizations, five applications you can run in the container, same hardware, same hardware, but here you are able to run more applications, means more applications and more resources. You understanding?
It can be more than two apps also, right? In
Yeah,
virtual
I mean
machine.
just yeah, it can be, depends on the how much resources you have, but in terms of visualization, why we are migrating
Okay.
to container. Yeah, so container consume, in simple way, container consume lesser hardware, CPU, RAM and storage. Hardware means CPU, RAM and storage. And container do not have any operating system. Okay, in a VM you have an operating system. Physical server you have of course operating system, but container is using the base operating system for running applications. Okay, so it is saving cost when you are using the Docker, which create a container and so on. How can you save cost? So if I ask you to configure physical server, probably will say I need 1 hour. If I ask you to configure the VM, probably will save 5 minutes. Correct now? If you here save time, yeah. And here when I ask to create a container, it's just a 1 second. 1 second you can create one container. 1 second you can create thousands of containers. And again here you are saving the cost and time, so of course you will have a some quality improvement in your software, correct? Because whatever the time you set, let's say you want to set up a dev environment, 1 second, QA environment, 1 second, production environment, 1 second, and dev, QA and production all are in sync because of Docker image. So this is something which you have. So did you understand that what is the advantage of for Docker? It will save cost in terms of running application. That means container utilize less resources. You can get it application up and running in no time and then improving the quality. Understood?
Just I didn't get that. It's Docker is not having a operating system. You said no. Can you make that
Docker
little more clear?
doc, Docker manage containers, and container is not having operating system. I'll tell you. Okay. So here this is something which you have. Now management means what? So yesterday I taught you VirtualBox. So VirtualBox manages the what? What they manage? VirtualBox.
OS,
Virtual machine, correct now?
virtual
VMs.
machine,
Yeah.
which has OS, right?
Yeah.
OSs.
VMs has OS, yeah. So VMs means using VirtualBox, what you can do. You can create a VM, you can start the VM, you can stop the VM, you can restart the VM, you can pause the VM, you can unpause the VM, you can stop the VM, you can kill the VM, you can destroy the VM, delete the VM. These are the things you can do. So using Docker,
Mm.
you can do something similar. I'll show you. You can create a container, you can start a container, you can stop the container, you can start again, you can restart it container, you can pause a container, you can unpause a container, you can kill the container, you can remove the container. So these are the things you can do with Docker. That means using, that's why I said Docker is a container management tool. So using Docker you can do all these things for containers. Got it?
So in this case, actually, only the application which can run in the same platform can be containerized, is it?
I'll give you some demo, probably visualizations will happen because this is a little bit, you know, complicated topics. Now next one
Just
Yeah,
is
one.
what
it's
is,
not very.
Yeah,
yeah,
without
tell me.
operating system, I mean, Docker will just maintain, no? How does it maintain, like create, start, stop,
Yeah.
like,
So for
uh,
for that we have to understand what is container then. Got it?
oh, okay, got
So
it.
yeah. So see, you understand using this tool, Docker, you can run so many applications saving cost. You can save time
Mm.
also. You can also create, start and all this thing. But what is container? That is important. Correct now? So here,
Yeah.
let me ask you to think in this way. Very simple way, okay? So this is a hardware and on top of that we have a kernel which is operating system. Yesterday also we discussed. Correct now?
Yes,
Okay. Now what happens? This kernel we have a lots of namespaces. If you remember yesterday we discussed lots of libraries we had. Okay, so what these libraries are doing, so this typically they create something like a one network, okay, and then one root file system. One root file system means I showed you yesterday. This is a root file system. I hope you remember that. This one, correct now? This one, root file system, correct? And then one PID tree. PID tree come from this. And then what happens? Multiple user get created. So this is a multiple user, one user, two user, three user. This is Aishwarya. This is Uma. This is Rajesh. So far so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now here Aishwarya runs Apache. Uma, will you be able to run Apache in the same machine?
Based on the OS which has been installed for it.
No, no, no. You are user. This is user. So
Okay. In that
only
case, we
one
may.
one
Yeah.
machine.
One. Yeah. In that just only one application can be run.
Because why? Because network you have one, root file system you have one, and PID tree you have one. That means this application Apache when you run, 80 port is gone, etc Apache gone, and 50 PID. So when UMA will run, 80 port is already consumed, correct now? Port cannot be used.
Yeah.
etc Apache or OPT Apache already used, consumed by Aishwarya. So yes, I cannot run that next Apache. This is the problem. Why we are not able to run? Because here we have one, one, one. because of this. Because OPT Apache, only one root file system you have shared by the all users. Pit tree you have here shared by all users, and networking also 80 port shared by all users. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the reason if you have used it. So now if I want to run another Apache, what should I do? What I will have to do? So you will say, what is a big deal? Create a new VM, no? So we created new VM. And then in the production environment, how you run? So one user will be there and one Apache, one user, one Apache. No need to have a second user or third user. Got it? So two Apache you want to run, you have a two operating system. You want to run 300 Apache, that means you have a 300 operating system, 300 VMs. Agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the problem here? So problem is very simple. 300 Apache I want to run in the production, and for that I have a 300 VMs, 300 VMs, 300 operating system. So you should always remember operating system also consumes CPU, RAM and storage. Correct now? Also VMs also consume CPU, RAM and storage. Hypervisor will run also consume CPU, RAM and storage. Agree with me?
Yeah.
So what we do? So what has happened? And this guy proposed a new solution. What is name? Docker father. Uh, I forgot his name. Solomon Hikes. Solomon Hikes. This guy proposed, and this is the guy. Okay. So he proposed, let's do one thing. Uh, here, uh, because network, root file system, and PED and user, these are the resources you need to run application. Again, I repeat, network, root file system, PED tree, and then one user you need to run any applications. So what and who's creating all these resources? Yesterday we discussed, last day, kernel, correct now? Everything is created virtualized by kernel. Agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here what this guy is suggesting. So we here suggesting, let's do one thing. Let's ask kernel to create network, root file system, uh, this one, PED tree, and user. One ask kernel to create one more network, one more root file system, one more PED tree, and user. So it can create, kernel can create. So now what is happening? And then asking this user to attach with this and this user to attach with this. Look at this here. Aishwarya, Uma, Rajesh is sharing the resources here. This X user and Y user is not sharing. That means if you run Apache here, 80 port, OPT Apache and 50 PID. You will have a separate 50 PID, OPT Apache and 80 port because you have their own network. Here we are sharing the resources created by OS. But in this case, each user have their own dedicated resources. Understood now?
Yeah. But
Once again,
as
can
it's
you
in this,
repeat?
So here
yeah,
if you see that,
because in this way also we may need more resources, right?
where? See, this all four
Because if
resources
we are
you,
creating two separate resources for each users, so in that
but
case
there
we
is no,
may.
see last scenario, we had a two operating system for running two Apache.
Yeah.
How many operating system you
Mm.
have? Only one, right? See
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
Here you run two Apache because of why you run two Apache or 30 Apache? Because you want to isolate the port number and root directories, root file system and PID. But here you are able to create through the kernel multiple resources and each resources is running with the kernel, same kernel. So that is architecture change has happened.
So you mean to say
Got
that we are virtualizing it. That's what you
Yes,
mean. No?
at a kernel level, one kernel itself, what you are doing, you are creating multiple root file system, multiple network, multiple pit tree, multiple user, and each user have their own resources. That means in this scenario, Aishwarya, Uma, Rajesh is sharing the same C drive, let's say, but this user is having separate C drive. This user is having separate C drive. That is a thing. Isolation, virtualized isolation. Got it?
But the
So
underlying hardware below the kernel is fixed only,
same,
no,
same.
Rajesh. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So hardware
So
is
in
same,
that
but
case,
here,
mm,
see, hardware is same, but what has happened? In order to run two Apache, you needed two hardware, no? So two hardware,
yeah.
see, understand that. Two hardware, two operating system, and heavyweight
Okay.
hypervisor, like a virtual box hypervisor.
Mm,
But here you need only one kernel. See here. So think larger scope. Compare this one. You want to run 100
okay.
applications. Okay. So scenario number
Mm,
one here, one OS, 100 container of applications. And here another scenario, 100 OS and 100 Apache app. So which is good because you are losing the CPU, RAM, and disk and operating system code for OS also, right? Here you are having only one OS and still you get a isolation done. Got
yeah.
it?
So the CPU, RAM, and storage is getting reduced here
Reduce
because we are
wastage getting.
avoiding. Yeah.
Yeah, getting.
Okay.
So this is the way.
Yeah.
But for this one kernel, we need to have so much storage, right? Because individually you have to create, like suppose we have three users, and for every individual user, we are creating a separate pipeline. No?
Ah
That's
ha
what
ha
you meant,
ah
right?
ha. User means see. User means what I said. Uh, you need to focus on what are the things you need to run applications. So let me show you this one. Yesterday I had shown you. In order to run one applications, let's look at this here. Okay, see here. I try to understand this. In order to run applications, you need one PID. This is one applications, correct? And then you need, see here, you need one user, one PID,
Yes.
and this
Yes.
application will be stored in the some C drive or something that is. So there's a, and if it is a web application, then you need a network also, correct now? So one
Yes.
user is required, one PID required, and this one root file system required, and the network.
Mm.
But you cannot run two Apache here because C Apache, C Apache, it will be conflicting, right? 80 port, 80
Mm.
port, it will be conflicting, right? This PID
Mm.
will be different for other process, right now. So
Yes.
here we are
Yes.
talking about isolation. Think about containers are beneficial for running application in a data center, not in your laptop. I repeat, we are you learning containers for running application in data center. Getting opens.
Okay. 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 Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Got
So here, so that is a container. Again, we'll do a little bit of more reading and slowly we'll get it. So now next thing is, okay, fine. How do we
One.
get?
Are you recording?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'll not give you too much of jargon because the more jargon I'll give you, more technical architecture knowledge, then you will get confused more. So for time being, I'll give you the demo. And the moment you see the demo, no, after that, once I come back with the jargons, probably it will be good. So now let's not talk about more about it, but let me show you Docker and management work. Just like you created a VM last day, I'm going to create a container today. So how do we install the Docker? So I have a Docker install Debugschool, and this tutorial will help you. Okay, so if you are using CentOS, you can use this one, and if you are using Ubuntu, you can use this one. Okay, so this tutorial. You can follow. I'll share with you in the chat. These are the commands which I'm selecting. It's for the Ubuntu. There are so many ways. Official website also you can go for it. Now where is my machine? So here, this is the machines I'm going to log in into. So what you will do, install the Docker. Now I have already installed the Docker in the morning. This machine I'm using for various other work also. So I installed it. Just will take few minutes to get it done. So after installing Docker, how to create a container, that is important. Okay, so username is Ubuntu. Now Docker containers can be created with the root access, root user, or the user has to be a part of the group called Docker. So right now I'll become a root itself because I don't like this one. So how many containers you have? See, Docker PS will tell you how many containers you have. I don't have. Running. PS means running containers. How many images you have? So right now if you see, I have a two images. Okay. So these two images I used, I think yesterday some demo was there. So I need an image. For example, you create a VM. So you need an image, VM image. So similar way, when you create a containers, you need a container image, Docker image. So from where you get it? So there's one website which is called hub.docker.com, which you go, and here you have so many images are there. You name it, and here you have it. So one of the images I'm going to use it, HTTP and Docker pull. So when I do the Docker pull, I will download this image. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, conceptual things, I'm ignoring it right now. I just want you to try it out, whatever I'm showing you. Once you try it out, after that, I'll again go into the theory and explain it to you. So Docker images you see here, I got the image here. Now at least now you know, got to know what is image and how to download it and from where to download. Are you okay with it?
Okay, but
Hello?
Docker, how to install Docker?
Ha. This instruction I'll share in the chat. This is for Ubuntu. And go back
And do
and
we need
this.
to set up any like so for you are asking us to do on AWS, right? How
No, no,
about
no.
security?
See, I'm asking you to do it in one VM which you have to create it. So yesterday or last session, I asked you to create a VM. Did you create it?
No, like I'm waiting for
Oh, recordings.
recordings. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'll share in some time. Okay, so what you
Okay.
have to do, see, I'm using AWS. I'll tell you, I'm using AWS for demo. Why? Because it saves lots of my time. Because if you install Docker in AWS, it will take, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, or let's say I downloaded one image just now. It took hardly few seconds. Correct now? So
Uh,
speed is very high, but the same thing you can do in the VM in your laptop. It will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So like this, if I show you the demo, people get bored actually from the demo. Getting opens. Yeah.
okay, but
So whatever.
yeah, but how to set up that kind of environment in our local VM?
So that's what I said. First thing, step number one, create a VM. Clear? Step number two,
Yes.
install Docker. Done. Step number three, I am showing you demo, this one. Okay.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is step number three I'm showing you. Okay. So what to do? So we will create, start, stop, all this thing. So I downloaded image here and I'm going to create a container. So create HTTPD. So easy. This container got created. How can I see that? So ps-a. These are the commands I run. So now you got one container. You can create more containers also. See, two containers I created. Unique name you got it, 40 character hash value you created. Now how do we start this container? Docker start container ID. See, start it. See here up. Can I start the second one also? So simple. And you see here, see both are running. How can I stop it? Docker stop. Very simple. See here, I stopped it and see exited. Container when you stop it, it get exited. You want to start it one more time? Start it. This one, start it, and then see here again running up. See here. So what I did in this flow, created a container, start it, stop it, again start it. Now I'll restart it. So this container is, I'm going to restart it. Docker, restart it, enter, and here I restarted. You see that uptime 1 second. Now I want to pause containers, unpause the containers. So Docker pause this container ID, I pause it. And here you see paused. I'm going to unpause it now. So here for that unpause now. And here you see again is running. Simple, right? Now I'm going to kill this container and remove it. My use is done. So I'm going to kill this. So I'm killing this container. And finally here, killing is also brutal way to exit it. And then finally removing the container when work is done. Sorry, bad command. I'm done. And you see here, gone. Now I have only one container and I want to access it. How can I access it? So here, let me show you. You can inspect this container IP address, this command, inspect, and this is the IP address of container, perl http dap. See, it works. So you are able to browse that container because it's Apache container. You want to go inside a container? So let me show you. Want to go inside a container? Here, let me take you to the inside Docker exec. This command you have to remember for time being till you understand the logic. Bin bash. So container ID, I change it and then bash. This, where are you? Right now you're in VM, correct now? Where are you right now? Inside a container. It's
In
Apache container. Getting my points, all of you? All of you?
Sir, actually, 1 minute. In AWS, initially, first you'll create a VM, right? I mean, I
Okay.
know
First
Azure
of all,
much, so okay.
okay.
Uh,
I want you to think very simple way. Do not say
no,
Azure. Do not say
oh,
AWS. You say
okay.
VMs.
Okay,
Simple.
in VM,
VMs.
yeah, in VMs,
VMs you can
how
create
does
on
it take?
laptop. VMs you can
Oh,
create in laptop. You can create on AWS. You can create
AWS,
in
you can
Azure.
create
Simple.
Azure. Now, whatever practice we'll do on, now you're doing that VM, all this process in AWS because it takes less
Again,
time.
again,
Okay,
again.
in VM.
See, the moment you start thinking AWS, then you start
Uh,
thinking different thing. Then you'll start thinking
uh,
Docker I can run only on the AWS. No, I want to you to think simple. VMs means virtual machines. You can get it anywhere. Tens of providers are there. I will get it one VM. Where you get it, I don't know, but you have to get it. Okay, and that VM you will install the Docker. Okay, if it is Ubuntu VM and sent to us, I'll give you the instruction. And then after that, this command you
oh,
have to practice it.
so it's whatever cloud it is, it's basically using that virtual machine, we need to create
Yes,
a Docker. Oh,
that's
okay.
correct.
So it
See,
might be our local or it might be cloud. Everything is same. That's what you're telling.
every yes, that is what I'm trying to tell you. Because see, the VMs you create using your laptop or everywhere is the same. The only thing is why AWS is there. AWS is there to get you the things faster and sooner. Okay, and you pay for only the what you, let's say you want 50 machines. Can you get it immediately? No. There you can get it. but you are learning right now, so you have a laptop anyways, so why to waste money over there? Got it?